What up, Chicken Nuggets? Tyler here with the Sports Cards Are Dope podcast. And today I want to talk to you about why I spent $1,800 on a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Probably saying his name wrong, and that's on me, fam. Giannis auto jersey from my guy Tyson Beck. He's not my guy. Like, act like we've never even met in real life, but I buy a lot of his cards. So I'm gonna say my guy because I really like him. And I spent $1,800 on a boat. I was literally, my family's like, we're ready to pull out off this little island because my oldest son wandered off. We found him, and they were like, we ain't ready to go out there and tube some more. And I was like, I need 5 more minutes. I was like Seth Green in that movie where he was like, I found a Napster. It was an Italian Job. And I was like, I need 5 more minutes. And it's because it was dropping, and your boy secured a tier 1 Giannis jersey auto. Okay, so I'm about to hit you with that intro, and then we're going to talk about it. And if you are, I'm doing this first time ever. I'm doing this on a live stream. So if you want to jump in, throw in comments, thoughts, questions, I'll answer it as we go, but it'll also be available on the podcast, wherever podcasts are sold for free. Just search Sports Cards Are Dope, and that's where your boy going to be. Hit him with that intro. Man, I'm really hoping one day that is that's just ingrained in people's minds, and that's all they ever want to hear is that intro. So here's the deets on what happened. Tyson Beck, he does sports cards, art creation, the whole process. He has worked with companies like Topps. Top of the mountain. He's worked with them. You know, he's done collabs. He's done cards of like the biggest name players in almost every space. And several years ago, he started doing he looked at the sports card landscape and was like, I think I can do this better. He said everything I'm saying, but with like a less Southern accent and a much cooler Australian accent. And he went out and was like, I can do this better. And he started collaborating with different athletes. I think Jason Tatum was one of his early athletes he collaborated with directly. And one of the things that in the sports card industry that I think hesitates people, that's how that's said, is whenever they're looking at buying cards, some people are in the camp of like, oh, it's got to be licensed. And while Tyson's work that he does, like he's done stuff where it's got like the licensure of the teams on there, but while he does do licensed stuff, it's licensed with the athlete directly, maybe not with the like NBA, or with, Major League Soccer or whatever, but he does it directly with athletes. So it is licensed through his company and the athlete. And so it's not just like a custom card that he created and put out there. It's different. It's licensed through that. And so a lot of times, because $1,800, I mean, for me, it's a good chunk of money. Like I don't have a card shop. I have cards for sale, but I've like got them listed as buy nows. I don't like need to sell them right now. This is just kind of my side thing that I like to do for fun, and I create content around it, and I just love it and I'm passionate about it. And I just wanted to give you my thoughts and see if they align with your thoughts on why you would go and spend $1,800 on a card. Because I'm trying to think of how many cards I've dropped $1,800 on. It's gotta be less than 10 cards. And Giannis is not like one of my top 3 or 4 favorite athletes, which if you've ever known the GOATs, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole, that's who I would drop 1,800 on in a heartbeat. But I've really started to like Giannis lately. And so I just thought, if I'm going to go in, I'm going to go in for a couple reasons. So I've got 5 reasons written down that I want to chat about. And in the comments, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, this is my first time I've ever streamed live to Instagram. Oh, sheesh, there we go. I can see the comments. What's up? I can see Instagram comments now. It doesn't pop up in the same place as my other comments. So if you want to throw that in there, dope. What's up? How you living? Okay. So here is my 5 reasons I went out and spent $1,800 on this card. Okay. And so if you are on YouTube, what's up, Hype? I see you. Says first, how's it going? First comment in there on the YouTubes. This will stay on YouTube, by the way, if you want to check it out. Sports Cards Are Dope. Like and subscribe, my guys. Trying to roll into that long form content because your boy just be making them shorts from the worst angle possible. So if you are on YouTube in the long form, you can see my screen. You can see some pictures of a few of the cards. And I'm going to go through what I did. Number one reason I really vibe with Tyson's work and what he does is because I love the art. The art, I don't know how to use the word arbitrage correctly, but the art on it is top tier in my opinion. It is what I love to see in my collection. And whenever I have cards, I view them as art, not just like, oh, it's this little, it's a quadrille. It fits these criteria. It has this checklist, this checklist. Number one for me when I'm buying cards is, how does it make me feel when I look at it? And sometimes, like if I've got like my Jackie Robinson, I've got my Jackie Robinson 48 leaf. It's not the best image of Jackie. Like, let's be real. Like it could be a lot better because he like literally he doesn't have a lazy eye, but it looks like he almost has a lazy eye. He's like looking off to the side. Like it's not the best picture of him. However, it's like that card, and when I see it, like how old it is, I mean, it's what, 70 years, almost 70 years old. Like it is something that I look at and it has these feelings, whereas the art might not be as dope looking as some of Tyson's stuff. Granted, Tyson, if you ever want to do a Jackie Robinson collab, which he did make some Jackie Robinson cards with, was it Project 2020 or Project 70? I get those two mixed up. He's made some Jackie stuff, and I actually have that card. But whenever I'm looking at cards, the number one thing I want to see is, do I look at it and does it make me feel like this is dope, or it has that nostalgia feel where it's like almost so nostalgic, it still looks and feels beautiful to me. And so I really love the art in cards. And if you are looking on the screen, if you're on the YouTube, you can see like these cards look so sick. They look so dope. Like I actually went in and got the tier 1. And so here, and it's randomized. So if you did like tier 1, there's tier 1 with there's the patch and auto. There's tier 2 with patch and auto. And then you had they didn't call it tier 3, but it was just patch only. So it didn't have an on-card autograph. And this is game used jersey. And so like what he did was he made it, I think it was like one of the taglines of it. Let me see if it's on here. I don't see the tagline, but I saw it on some of the promo stuff where it's like, know the player, know the game. And so it was like on the card, it tells you what game it's from the jersey that was used on this. And so I didn't technically get this card with the Jordan logo. I have a chance to get this one. I think anybody at any level could have gotten the one where it's got the championship tag that's in the back. And then like this essentially gives me the opportunity to get one of these cards. And so they're all short printed. I think they're all 15 or under. And it's got pieces of the jersey where it's got the Bucks logo, or, the tags, or the Jordan stuff. And I think they even got some booklet. Yeah, there's the Motorola booklet, the Jordan booklet, and then looks like some letters of his name. That's probably, if it's 13, I'm assuming that's his last name. I can't count. Let me count his last name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, yeah, probably, right? It's probably his last name. And so you can go in and get those, and it's I can go in and get those. You can't now, it's sold out. But I went in, bought that tier, and it's randomized through that. So I love, number one, the art. This looks so sick to me, and I just love the way they look and the way that it's going to be displayed. And if I'm being honest, like I'm working on collecting an entire set of the top 75 NBA players that was from 2022. They like took a snapshot. They declared these are the top 75 NBA players in the history of the NBA. And I've been working for the past year and a half on collecting all of those top 75 players on card autos. And from that, I wanted to go in and get all of them. And I'm down to like 3, maybe 4, because I'm not sure. I've got a Wilt Chamberlain that I'm not sure is legit or not. So I'm about to send that off to Beckett and see if it is legit. But if it's legit, I've got 3 left. If it's not, I got 4 left. But I had Giannis's. I've had it for a little over a year now. But I'll be honest, it's not that great, in my opinion. It's Onyx Premium. If you're on the YouTube, you can see it. Looks like this. He did the short auto, and all of the autos he did with Tyson, it's his initials plus the number 32. And so it's like his full GA32. And so I like it. It's fine. It's numbered at a 30. It's not terrible. I think it's like a $200 to $300 card. And so I thought, though, like, and whenever I was thinking about going in and buying this on the drop, I was like, you know what? I would feel much more proud and more happy to have this card from Tyson Beck in my collection than this Onyx card. And it would be something I'd love. And I also have a Giannis signed basketball. And so when we finished building our house and I get my studio, I can put that ball and then have the Giannis card right next to it. I think that would look incredible. And so super excited to have that and the way it'll display. William said this in the chat. William said, Tyler, you should get an early Giannis auto where he spells his whole name out. Those are going to be worth. Oh, I completely agree. I tried to bid on a Giannis full name auto. It was an in-person auto, but it was slabbed up and it was on Fanatics Collect. And I went after it. And I think I got outbid around $400 or $500. It got up to, I think, 7 or 8 is what it ended for. It was his rookie, like just one of his base rookies, but it had his full autograph on there. And I think it is going to be hard to find full autos. Like even that basketball that I have signed with Giannis is just his initials. And so thank you, Tism Pete. Thank you for saying you're a big fan. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to answer questions as we roll with this. Daniel said the art and feeling closer to the game. Like I'm going to stop right there because he had a longer comment. But in these Giannis cards, I love the art. I already talked about that, but also closer to the game because I'm using like this is a piece of his actual game worn jersey. I very seldom will put a card in my PC that is not game worn used, or I'll wear a player used. I'll go with, you know, they put it on and took it off and handed it to the company, but I prefer game worn. There's very seldom I snag cards that say not associated with any player or event. And so I'm not going to roll. That's me personally, unless it's just like a beautiful, like sick piece of card. Like I would never do like a napkin card like that and be like, oh, this is, I want a card that has a piece of jersey that player wore. It just doesn't make sense to me because I just don't like that. And I love it that Tyson did this. I'm going to read the rest of the comment. Daniel said, also looking at the cards we opened as kids, it takes me back to the excitement of getting your favorite player. Even if it was a base set, it was exciting. Me too, man. My big set that I did when I was a kid was Collector's Choice, which is like the cheapest basketball you can do. But like that's the cards I was into and I love the look of. And so I'm going to get, y'all keep throwing questions in the chat. I'm actually going to roll with the rest of these 5 and then I'll answer the questions at the end. It's almost like a mailbag. And so that'll be kind of fun. So yeah, throw in any questions you got in the chat and I'm going to keep rolling with my top 5 reasons I spent $1,800 on this card. And so number 2 is I want to support Tyson Beck and what he's doing. Does he need my money? No, this thing would have sold out in like 60 seconds with or without me. But I love having cards in my set for things and companies that I want to support. So like I have like Arena Club. I've done some collabs with Arena Club. They sent me a promo card with Derek Jeter's autograph on it. And I've got a baseball that Derek Jeter signed whenever I got to go to this like group dinner hangout with them. And I don't want to sell those. Like that's in my collection. Do I collect a ton of Derek Jeter stuff? No, but he took the time to come and visit with our table, chat with us, took a few minutes to interview. That was a really cool moment for me. And I want to encapsulate that moment with that ball and with that card they sent. And so I even have a Derek Jeter card. I got it graded with Arena Club. It's his, you know, the SP Authentic Rookie, and it graded like a 7 with them. And I've got that in my collection. I think it's my only 2 Jeter cards. Only Jeter card I have. And then I have that signed piece and then a signed baseball. But like I collect that because the dude, like I've collaborated with this company. They've been super kind to me. And honestly, you know, when we do collabs, sometimes they pay me. Sometimes it's like a card swap. But it's been able to like help me buy more cards that I want to collect. So that's one of the things I love. And so I want to support Tyson because he's always been kind to me. I've DM'd him before. I've emailed him before, and he's just super polite, super kind. And I actually got into, so I get like there's like a brief window where I get to go in before like the public drop, and it's called the Collectors Club. And so they do like an hour before, and you can't like Collectors Club can't buy all the cards. They can go in and he's like reserved, like, I don't know, 2 to 5 of the cards. I think, I don't know the number, but it's like a very small amount. And the Collectors Club goes and competes against each other for that. And then like an hour later, usually it's open to the public and everybody goes and competes and tries to get them as fast as they can. And so I only got in that Collectors Club originally because he did a collab with a company for a Shaq card / NFT thing. And then the company he collabed with just like fell under, like it went under. It was just like, he doesn't go too much in depth on it, but you can tell like he trusted a company and that company didn't follow through. And so what Tyson did was like, hey, for anybody that got like spent money on this and got into this like Shaq NFT thing, I'm gonna have your back. And he like literally let us in to Collectors Club. Everybody that put money towards that, he put us in Collectors Club for free for life. And since then I've actually purchased, I think, the Collectors Club yearly membership because I wanted to support him through that as well. And it gives me an early chance at cards, which is selfish, but also it's a way to support him because I think he's doing some really cool and innovative stuff in the space. And I think he does it in the right way. I want to support, just like if you go to a show, there's certain dealers you go and buy stuff from more often because you want to support them. Yes, you might pay a little more. Maybe they're not going to be able to cut you a deal here and you could go to another table and get a deal, or you might sell cards to a person who's a repeat buyer because you like their vibes, you like the conversation, you like that they're coming back, and you want to support them in either their flipping journey or their purchasing collecting journey. And so it's just like that. It shows I want to do that for these guys that are out here like being innovative in the card space. And I think he's doing it the right way. And so that's the second one, is I want to support Tyson. And I love that he's doing what he's doing. Numero Trace. And again, if you have any questions and you're on YouTube Live or Instagram, toss in the comments. I'm going to get to those here in a second, and I'll just go through and answer as many questions as we want. This is my first ever live stream for the pod. And so I thought we'd try a little check it out a little different. Number 3, long term. I think because Tyson Beck does things well and he does things that look good, and because I think cards are moving from this like sports only space into this sports/art space, I think his stuff's going to go up over time. Does that mean I want to sell it later? Probably not. But if my kids ever want to after I go, they have the option to make more money than I spent on it. And I think it's a long-term asset. And I've leaned more and more into on-card autos, because even people that are like, because most of Tyson's stuff is on-card autos, and it's all his autos are on card, but he does sell cards that aren't like autographed. They're either like collectors or they're always limited and numbered. But with his stuff, like I think autos are never going to be a bad purchase if you believe in that player, because like it doesn't, like people have signed like random, like I think I saw Kevin Durant sign like a can of beans the other day. I bet somebody can sell that for a few $100s. Like it's crazy. One, it got the social media virality to it, so that's going to add a value, but also because that's what's like, it's an autograph of a player like that is an all-time great. And I think that as long as you have it on something auto, that's going to have value. And so I don't think it's ever going to lose a ton of value. If I sell it 6 months from now, would it go for $200 less if I started a bids on $1? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so, but that's a risk you take. I don't think it would ever drop super low. It's a game use dope piece of patch because I got tier 1, and I'm gonna show you all the checklist here in a sec, or I'll show you some of the other tiers. And I'll talk through it because this is a podcast and Tyler does understand how podcasts work. And also Tyler just talked in the third person. So also Tyler apologizes for that. Number 4, and I already talked about this a little bit. It is licensed with the athlete, and you might be like, well, where's the Bucks? Blah, blah, blah. Well, one, there's a piece of the Bucks jersey on the card. So how's that for licensure? In your face. But also I think it's pretty cool because, he's actually partnered with the player. And with basketball, especially, these players are brands. And I love, it's honestly, for me, the licensure with them is just important as a licensure with Tyson, because Tyson is an artist who's created content, like say content, it is content, but he's creating cards outside of Topps or Panini or whoever. Guess what Topps and Panini are? They're companies. They are just companies, and they have a licensure deal with, the NBA or the NFL or MLB or whoever. Tyson has a company. It is a company just like those. Who's to say that his company won't be larger than Panini 10 years from now? We don't know that. Like, we don't know the rollout and what's going to look like. So I think that long-term, I'm investing not only in the player, but in the artist, and the licensure between both is cooler to me than a licensure with a company. And I say this, if the cards are made well. If you guys can see in the video, like, these look good. Like, you can't see where it has like a Bucks logo on that, but it doesn't matter because you wouldn't even notice. If I hadn't told you probably wouldn't even notice. Like, he's covering up, that part of the Bucks logo that he can't legally put on there with Giannis dunking it. Or let's see, there's a couple other options in here, like even on this championship tag, which would be sick. It's going to be random in anybody's, but hopefully I get it. I don't think I will because I've never got any big hits on his stuff, but that would be sick. So look at that championship tag. Looks great. Little inscription. I mean, that's a gorgeous card. Like, if you don't think these look dope, you're a liar to your face. Like, look in the mirror and think about what you've done. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are dope, and it doesn't matter to me. Like, but I've also seen stuff where they were covering up the license or they photoshopped it and it looked janky. Like, I'm literally talking to a dude on eBay who has a Jordan Poole Topps Finest, and some of the top stuff looks really good and they did a good job. Like, some of the Wemby stuff looks really good. They even like put some emphasis on like LeBron and some of these other players. But with JP, what they did was, it was like they like photoshopped it, and his jersey like got sunk in. He looks like Slender Man. Like, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't look the best, but it's still like I kind of like the outside design. I just don't like the Photoshop on that. But there's still like a lot of dope stuff coming out of it. And so I think that's important, in my opinion. And the last thing before I start answering questions, if you got any questions, throw it in the chat and I'll answer, as long as it is appropriate. If you guys want, and I'll throw out an answer. It's called Mailbag. First ever mailbag for Sports Cards Are Dope podcast. Like and subscribe. Number 5, it's limited. And I'll show you, I think I've got the checklist. I don't know if it's in here, but he's got a checklist of them. So tier 1, it's more limited. There it is. So here's what the checklist does on this. I got the chance of again, it's random out of these. You got the 101 championship tag, the brand logo booklet. There's 2 of those. So you got the Jordan one and then the Motorola one, laundry tag, and then Letterman booklet out of 13. All right. Then we've got team logo. So that'll be a piece of the Bucks logo. Team colors, that's under tier 2. And I think team numbers, quad materials is tier 2. Team numbers, I don't know if it's tier 1 or 2, but it's pulling from those randomly. So I have the chance of getting any of these cards. And so like this would be probably the least, but it's still 3 color, looks sick. And that's a vertical card. So that'd be pretty dope. It's numbered out of 10, numbered out of 3. This is deer, fear the deer. You feel me? Okay. You get it. All right. So again, this is an audio podcast, so I'm going to keep talking. I think it looks so sick, and I like that it's limited. I found personally stuff under limited to 25 or under is stuff that I'm more of a fan of. And so that's what I'm going to go for. And that's why I went for it. And I think it was priced like 17 plus tax. And then I want to say tier 1. I glanced at it. I didn't, because you got to go. When you go in and you bid on this stuff, number 1, don't ever use PayPal. I made that mistake with the Curry record breaker drop. Went through PayPal, lost it in my card. It was bought before I could get it. So ever since then, I've not used PayPal. PayPal is absolute trash when you're trying to check out fast. So you shop and sign in early if you can, and then go exactly for what you want, click and go. I saw the number. I was like, it's under 2. I'm rolling with it. Clicked it and got it. I think tier 2, I want to say tier 2 was 800. And then I think the non-auto stuff was like 300 or 400. I'm going off memory because I just glanced at it as I went through. And so that's why I went. I love the art. I want to support Tyson. Long term, I think it'll keep going up. I like that the partnership is with independent creator and the player independently, but it's licensed through both of them. And then 5th, I like that it's limited. And that's why I went for tier 1. So I'm going to roll in, answer any questions y'all got. So throw questions. I'm going to roll on YouTube, then I'll jump over to Instagram. Hype said, oh, this is what, let me do this. You all ready? Mailbag. Is that weird? It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep going with it. So mailbag, why is Jordan Poole one of my top players to collect? I actually made a long YouTube video on this. But if I'm summarizing it, one, I think he's a great young dude. Like I say, young man, he's like 26, I think. But I think he's a good person, and I like good people. I like to support good people. If somebody's kind of a turd or has vibes I don't like, I start selling their stuff off. I did that with a few different players over the past few years, but I think he's a great person. I've supported the Warriors, and so I like Steph. And when I first got into collecting, Steph was so expensive. I started picking up some rookies from that year, which was 2019, 2020. And so I was buying up Jordan Poole and Eric Pascal. And I really kind of gravitated towards Poole's stuff more than Pascal. And then Pascal, I think he's out of the league now. I sold most of his stuff pretty cheap. And so I just kind of had JP, and then he popped off in the playoffs. So I sold like 5 or 6 of like my mid cards, not even my good ones. And I made like $1,500. And I think I had maybe $300 in it. So that was pretty sweet. And so, yeah, that's why I like JP. And then honestly, what sealed the deal for me is we went to a Grizzlies Wizards game last year, and he came around, chatted with us for a couple minutes. And then he was like, hey, where are you guys from? And we were like, we're from Arkansas. And he's like, dude, I see your stuff all the time. And I was like, dude, that's so nice. And he was super kind, nicest player we've ever interacted with, hands down, like a game of Twister. And so it matters to me how you interact. And so like there's players I've collected that, you know, they stopped and signed. I started collecting them more. And there's other players that ran on by and didn't sign for myself and or my kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I saw the way you interacted with fans. And again, they don't have to sign for anybody, but also I don't have to like them and support them. So I just love JP, and I want to keep supporting him. Big JP fan. So if you want to never see your card publicly sold again, sell it to me. Hype also said, are you from the Bay Area? I'm not, but Steph got me back into watching basketball probably like 10 years ago. I was just sitting at a restaurant with my buddy Chris, and I saw like NBA playing on the TV. And I was like, man, that's a fun style of basketball. I like the way they're playing. It looks fun. It's engaging. And I just kind of jumped in and started liking basketball again, which led to me getting back into cards. So not from the Bay Area. I wish. This accent, I know it sounds like Bay Area. It's not. That's on me. William said, are the Tyson Beck cards Topps or Panini? No, they're not. They're through Tyson Beck's company. So they're not. He's done stuff with Topps and Panini. I know he's done stuff with Panini. He's done stuff with both of them, but these are through him and his company. Kevin said, Really enjoying content. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, bro. Kind of a newer follower. Used to be a teacher. I'm in my 5th year special education. Oh, dope, Kevin. Yes, I taught math for a while, and then I was a tech specialist. Then I was a principal of a 6th through 12th grade building, and then I was at central office, and so I was like the second in command at a school district. It was like an assistant superintendent role. I just didn't have that title, so it feels rude and lying to say that. And then I was the dean of a college. Now I'm director of learning and development for an organization, and I create content and I speak at schools, and that's kind of what I do for a living. So thank you for asking, and thank you for teaching. I still love, like, one of my favorite things is I get to work with teachers. Like, I get to work with teachers online. I literally did a live stream this morning for admin, showing them how to use some AI stuff to do teacher evaluations. So I do that most of the time. I just kind of do this on the side for fun. And Kevin, that's pretty dope. You're teaching special ed. I'll tell you this, as somebody who's hired people, you can get a job anywhere you want. It is hard to find good special education teachers. So that's pretty cool that you're doing it. And that's awesome. William said, Tyler, you should get an early Honesty auto. Oh, I already said, I read this one earlier, but yes, I absolutely should get an early Giannis auto. That's on my list. I would love that. Daniel, I read yours as well earlier. So I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching in the classroom. I do some college classes every now and then, but no, mainly I just teach teachers now, which is fun and I love it. And it's like, I do miss certain parts of getting to work with students every day, but one thing that encourages me and what I do now is I get to encourage and equip teachers. And it's like, whereas used to in the classroom, I could help 100 to 150 students a year. Now it's tens of thousands, if not more, because I get to help teachers at the top of the funnel, throw out tips and resources and all that. And it funnels down, and it's like a pyramid is how I view it in my head. And I get to help even more. And that's my goal, help as many people as I can. And that's what I love doing. How much is my entire car collection worth? I don't know. I think I had to do a thing for like assets and liabilities. And if I'm guessing, I'd probably say like between 100 and 150,000 is my guess. If I started everything on eBay at $1 and just sold it all, I think I'd end at around 100, 150K. William said, Tyler, buddy, I still have your Ron Gant cards all packaged up, ready in the mail. I'm sorry I haven't sent it. Hey, no worries. William, bro, I have some cards I was supposed to send to my buddies like 2 or 3 years ago, and I literally don't even know where they are anymore. That's on me. They weren't anything good. It was like base cards they won in a giveaway. But I appreciate you, William. Thank you. And go Ron Gant, the GOAT. I love Ron Gant. Who else we got? Let me look over on Instagram, see what we got over there. What's up? How you living? Oh, Buster was going to ask about the teacher question. Sorry about that. Accept your Lincoln request, Josh. Absolutely. Let me go in. I'll be honest. If anybody of you has ever DM me, I formally apologize. I am trash at DMs unless it randomly pops up as like a push notification. I probably didn't see it because I don't go in there because it stresses me out. Like, I do everything I can just to keep up with my text messages and my emails. And so getting in the DMs, I just don't have time because I'm more like trying to create and push content out there and start conversations. And the more I'm in there, the less I'm creating. And I have become, the older I get, I'm very succinct and focused with my time. And I just, top of funnel for me is like my family and, my job, my day job. And then second is like going out and trying to create and push out content. And so it's like, if I'm low on content, I'm definitely not jumping in the DMs, which would be my third tier. But yeah, I wish I was better at it. And that's on me. And LinkedIn, honestly, I don't know the last time I can't ever tell with LinkedIn. Like, I get messaged all the time and it's like, I don't know what's real and what's an AI automated response, but I'm gonna write your name down, bro, and I'm gonna go find you. Josh, I don't know what if you're still in here, tell me your last name so it'll be easier to find it if you're comfortable with it. But if not, I'll go try to find a LinkedIn request. There's probably a few because I don't even know how to accept requests on there. Real Ram said some of the best car content. I'll keep it coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that to my face, my guy. I appreciate that a lot. Most Buster spent on a card was $70 on SGC7 Barry Sanders score rookie. Cheap. My wife's a teacher. I assume you can relate. Absolutely, I can. I'm telling you, for the first 2 years, I don't know of more than like 5 cards I spent over $70 on. Like, it was crazy. It's like levels, like when you start getting comfortable spending a certain amount and then you kind of like go to another level. And I honestly, I didn't for a long time. There's still times a year where we're tight because we're trying to do stuff with like real estate. And my wife, she does building construction. So like, there's certain times of year where I can spend money on cards and certain times I can't. Like, I've missed out on some of Tyson's drops because it happened at a time where we were trying to like pay something off or invest in something else. And so it's just, you gotta priorities in life. And while as much as I love cards, it's just you have to prioritize your money. And honestly, you got to prioritize your time. That's what I talked about a second ago. And you got to prioritize your finances. And as much as I love cards, really, I have a card account, and this put me a little more in the negatives, but I'm gonna get it paid off probably here in the next 30 days. I'll get it back to zero, and then I'll try to build that up so I can buy some bigger cards. I'm usually, if I'm being honest, I'm usually operating the card number from the negative, and then I'm selling cards to get it back to zero. I wish I had money up in there and I could, go that direction, but it's a little tough. A couple more questions and then I'll bounce out. This has been a little longer episode, but it was a live stream, so it was kind of fun. Never done that before. Hype said, how long does it take to grade cards? It depends on the company. SGC got kind of backed up. They were about a month and a half out. I think they're back down to probably like 3 weeks. Last I saw, my last submission with them was like last month, and I think it took about 3.5 weeks. And they'll get back down to 5 to 10 days because, they're owned by collectors, and collectors came out and just pretty much said, we don't want SGC to be a big company. We want it to be boutique, and they want PSA to be a big company. And so they're putting their efforts into that sister company of PSA. So PSA, I've got 2, I sent them together, but PSA splits it out, and then they upcharged me because they messed up in how they categorized it. No big deal. Don't want to complain, but they charged me an extra $150. Thanks, PSA. So I have 2 orders with them. One just got finished and it literally just got shipped this morning. And I think they've had them for, I think 2 or 3 months. So they're probably about 3 months out if you're trying to send it to PSA. And I even did like an express card with it because Alex at Clever Coupon, which is awesome, and we have a podcast dropping. He interviewed me for the Hobby Handbook podcast, so check them out. He's awesome. And he was talking to me, or he was talking on a video, and he said that if you send in a bunch, like a bulk deal, but you throw in one card that's like Value Express that goes through faster, they might get back to you faster. And that card got back in probably 3 weeks, I think. And then the rest, it's been about 3 months. So that's how long it takes. And the last question for our first ever mailbag, Hype said, is card collecting profitable? It can be. It depends on how you do it. I don't know. Like I started keeping up probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I started keeping like a number in my notes on my phone. So like when I spend money on cards, I mark that, and then I like sell cards or do collabs with companies to pay it back. It can be profitable. One thing that's helped me is doing collaborations with companies, because anytime they give me money, I put that towards, my card account so I can buy more cards, because we don't need that to live on. If we did, it would be different, and I'd be buying different, buying different. I would not be buying as big of cards probably, just because I would be putting that money towards bills or eating or whatever it is. But thankfully, it's just kind of a side thing for me. I know a lot of people that make money on it, and you can. Honestly, it just takes learning and research and then patience. Like you go in, you figure out what stuff's worth, you try to buy it at a lower percentage of what you can sell it for. And that's how all businesses work. I know a lot of people that like set up at shows or like have a, store is a little different because they like walk-ins is a little different. But if you're going to a show, you're trying to buy stuff for 70 to 80% of the comps, and they're trying to sell it for around 80 to 90%. So you've got about a 10%, 10, 20% like margin there. And so anybody that's wanting to make money, it's all about, how do I buy things for less than I'm selling it for? And then that over time, as you build it, that's how you make money. And sometimes that can happen if you buy and hold, and it's a little more, that's more prospecting, or I don't know what the word would be if it's not like a rookie. Like if you're buying Burrow right now because you think he's going to have a good season and his cards are going to go up, you're taking a gamble essentially on Burrow, And so, but if you're trying to do it more short term, it's a little more guaranteed because you can see what comps people are going to use when they purchase, but it's still no guarantee. And so I always just tell people, don't overextend yourself financially. But honestly, and this is the best bet. I got this from John Acuff. He's a writer. He wrote a book called Quitter, I think is what it's called. And it encouraged me because, I've been doing side stuff for a while now, speaking at schools and making content, collaborating with companies. And it's enough to where I could probably leave this has been for the past 10 years. I've been making that content. And one of the things he talks about is don't be in such a rush to quit your day job for your side hustle because you like your side hustle more. Yes, when you quit your day job and you dedicate more time, effort, and energy to your side hustle, you will make more, most likely, out of that side hustle. However, when you do it, you've now transferred the pressure of paying bills and feeding your family to the thing that you had more passion about. And it can take away a lot of people's passion. We've seen people get burned out on selling cards. They don't even like collecting cards anymore because it's now become solely a business to them and not a passion. And I don't want to be there yet. I'm not saying I would never like open up a card shop or, go full time. I would always like having like my education stuff, which is my main income on that other side, because it's just, that's how I make most of my money. And honestly, I love doing that as well. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, all education or all sports cards. I love doing both because I feel like it's better representation of my personality. And I'm very easy to get bored. I'm what they call an ADD person. I can very easily, lose my passion for those things if that's all I'm focusing on. So I just kind of split it, and then also have a day job. So I just kind of split it between everything and have fun in everything I do and try to enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, I'm gonna stop doing it. So my YouTube channel is littered with things I've done in the past that I no longer do because I'm no longer passionate about it. So find stuff you love doing, lean into it, and just keep learning and keep getting better. So thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And I know it's a little longer. If you were here on the live stream, dope. If not, you can check this video out. It's on, if you're listening to it and you're at the end of it, you've already listened to it. So don't go check it out. I'll keep trying to post these things. I try to do pods every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I try to do like just showing cards or, opening up boxes or, grade reveals on Tuesday, Thursday. I've been thinking about shifting it up. It's just, I don't grade enough to do 2 videos a week of unboxings, and I don't buy like hobby boxes. So it's a little tougher there. So I don't know. I might try to switch it up, do more pods during the week. But Monday through Friday is when I'm trying to post these things. Might do more of these lives if it's cool, if you guys like it, but if not, maybe I won't. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate you. Have fun and never stop collecting. Sports cards are dope. And so are you.